Howdy partners, Justin Wierzeniak here, the Cash Flow Cowboy. I want to talk to you guys today about selecting your market to invest in. Great markets to consider are your backyard. So anything within kind of like a 2-hour radius of where you live is great. Where you grew up, so you probably know very well kind of that area. If you have family members or partners and stuff that are actual boots on the ground in a particular market, you can look there. And then lastly, a place you want to retire. So if you're like me, you want to end up in Florida, well, go check out markets in Florida because you might end up there later on, and that could be a place where you are now boots on the ground. When you get into the market, you're looking for 3 things, and it's growth, population, employment, and income growth. Some additional market considerations are that you don't want a one-horse town. What I mean is you want multiple large employers in one area so that when one leaves, you don't end up with a bunch of vacant housing. And speaking of vacant housing, you want a market that doesn't have a bunch of vacancies. You want it to look booming, to be growth oriented. Don't have a bunch of boarded up windows everywhere. That's not a great market to invest in. An easy way to know if you're in a pretty decent area is compare the median home prices or the median income to the national average. So if it's average or above average, it's usually a growth market. But if it's well below, it's probably a depressed market, and be careful if you're investing there. Also, you want to make sure you're not investing in a market that's just like full of crime. Like, just think about getting an apartment building and every other day you're getting complaints from your tenants that it's being broken into. You don't want to deal with that headache. That sucks. So just go ahead and make sure you look up ahead of time. What's the crime in the area look like? And that can give you a pulse on that local market. So when it comes to population, it's a little interesting here. So if you're a seasoned investor, you're probably looking for markets that have, a population of like 100,000 or more. If you're just getting started, this is where it can be a little dicey. So you might have to go into smaller markets just to find good assets. So if that's the case, don't worry too much about population. Make sure maybe like 10,000 to 50,000 or more, but just make sure it's meeting that other criteria of growth. So income, population, and job growth. Also, if you can find a market with an airport in it, that's great. Shopping centers, big shopping hubs are also a great market to be investing in. And lastly, a market that has a major highway that goes through it. A lot of people like to invest near a highway because you can hop on it and be into the next big city in 10-15 minutes. Well, that's an advantage of where your asset is located. Now, when you're analyzing a market, it's great to hop online and look up some of the data behind that market. So good places to go are, census.gov, citydata.com, bestplaces.net, and datausa.io. Those are just a couple quick ones. There's plenty out there. Just go to your market, search it. If you have CoStar access, that's a great way to get a bunch of market data behind where you want to invest, and just sift through it. Make sure you're checking all the boxes before you start investing in that particular area. There you have it. That is how you evaluate and select the market you want to invest in. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share. Cowboy out. Parkour!